I am hitting record. Okay, hey, welcome everybody to our BSP University call. I'm also doing a few minutes of Facebook Live. So, hey, Facebook, how are you? As you guys know, the first 5 or 10 minutes, I share about some kind of results that clients are getting or some ways that you can use your book to grow your business and really do some amazing things. And then we open it up for Q&A for you. So, I was in a meeting this morning. Actually, let me take a step back. So I was talking to one of my good friends and clients, Lou Diamond, just yesterday. And Lou, are you on this call yet? I know Lou often is on them. We finally got his book in, which is cool. It's Master the Art of Connecting. Lou runs a fantastic business in New York. He's a consultant to high-level corporations, et cetera. And Lou and I had a long conversation about various things. He's a done-for-you client. We created his book. We've launched it to international bestseller. Again, great book. You should get it, Master the Art of Connecting. And we haven't even finished the PR. In fact, we haven't even gotten started on the profit phase for Lou. But the reason I'm using his book as an example is because Lou was just telling me, I think it was from one of our calls previously for BSP University, that Lou decided that he had a couple of prospective clients, pretty high-level clients, possibly anyway, that had been on the fence for a long time. And one of the suggestions I gave was, when you have a conversation with a high-level client, take your book, think of something within the conversation, write a personal note, put a yellow sticky in the book, and then mail it out to him. So Lou just told me yesterday that he was able to land a very high-level client. He didn't give me the exact dollar amount, but he did tell me that it ended up paying for the book promotion, and all of the PR that we're going to be doing for him, which you guys know, our programs range from $13,000 to $25,000. It paid for all of that even before we're finished with the book and the services. So look, if you're not using your book on a regular basis to touch your prospective clients, to attract them to you, to use them as a positioning tool, then you're making a mistake. Now, let me fast forward to this morning. So I'm in a high-level group called Provisors here in Southern California, and love that group because of the amazing people that are in it. And this really was my first meeting this morning, and that's why I'm wearing a jacket, right? I mean, that's not normal for me. I don't go to these types of meetings, but I wanted to because here in Pasadena, there's just such a great community of smart people. And I've always felt kind of separated from that community because all of my clients are online. I have clients in Australia, New Zealand, Austria, throughout the UK, Canada, United States. It's really rare for me to meet with a client face-to-face because all of the stuff that we do is through our books and our online marketing and that kind of thing. So I really wanted, more than anything, for this to be a group where I can get to know some cool people. And so one of the ways that I've decided to do that is I am going to bring, this is a group of about 25 people, I'm going to bring 20 to 25 books every single time I go to this meeting. And it's only a once a month meeting, so that I can, again, show them what it is that I do in a living and breathing way. And it will also highlight my clients because there's tremendous opportunities there. Even for, a client like Lou Diamond. Lou's book is the book that I'm going to bring. So Lou, if you're on this call, congratulations. I'm going to bring this book next month to my provisors meeting. So any type of meetings that you go to, bring 20, 25 copies of your book signed so that you can hand them out. You can give them within the meeting. And if you have a few minutes to speak, then it's an opportunity for you to share about what you do and how you impact people. Obviously, you need something systematically that you're doing on a regular basis with your book so that you are attracting opportunities for speaking engagements, you're attracting opportunities for new clients, you're attracting people into your world and into your life that are referral partners, etc., all because of your best-selling book. So hopefully that makes sense and that this is something that you guys can engage with. This is a great way when you're face-to-face with people to really make an impact on them and to brag without bragging, because your best-selling book will do all of that for you. So hopefully that makes sense, and great to be with you. We're going to go ahead and cut the Facebook Live now, and I'm going to go directly to you guys so that I can help you with anything that you're facing or challenged with in your business, with your best-selling book, with the book launch, with the writing of your book, or with the PR. So now we're going to switch it over to you. Thank you, Steve, for doing that. Steve just did some recording for me, so looks like you didn't post it yet, though. So I am posting it. Awesome. Great. So what questions can I answer for you? What do you want to know? What are you working on right now that you're challenged in, maybe in your business, because your book relates to that? Maybe it's in the launching of your book. Maybe it's in some, part of the writing of your book. Perhaps it's in, getting speaking engagements or PR or that kind of thing. So we got a bunch of people on. I am here for you. This is your opportunity to engage with me and ask any questions that you guys have so that we can get you on track there. So to do that, go ahead and type in the question box what your question is, and then I will unmute you and we can have a chat together. So Jackie, hi Jackie, I don't see you, but I see that you're typing in the chat box. You have a quick question. Let me know what your question is. Go ahead and type it in there, and I'll get that question answered for you if I can. If it's something kind of beyond the scope of what I do on a day-to-day basis, meaning like something in formatting or whatever, then I'll direct you to the right people or have you post it in the Facebook group and have it answered there. So let's see. Jackie is saying, a quick question. 6 years ago, I published with Author House. Okay, great. That's all I've seen, though, about your question. You're trying to upload your book to KDP because your book is not on KDP. Why don't I unmute you, Jackie? Do you have let's unmute you. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, can you hear me?
I hear you great. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Real quick. So I published a book to Author House 6 years ago, The Way They See It, Rebuilding Bridges in Teens and Parents.
Yes.
I've been now trying to, I've been asked from a lot of different people to do a series, and it's the same brand, The Way They See It, Rebuilding bridges between the Jew, the Christian, the Muslim, between the white cop, the African American, all different sides of the story. And it's compiling everyone's answer to the same 5 questions and putting it in a book in between. So my question is, I'm going through all your modules, and I'm getting stuck. I have the old book, and I want to update it. Oh, I lost you.
No, I got you though. I can hear you.
Okay. And so I'm trying to update it, and I went through to try to see through the Kindle and KDP. I'm kind of have my feet in 2 icebergs, I guess. And they're kind of slipping different ways. I don't know how to capture both. I don't know if I should focus on the first book. I called Author House. They do everything for me, the pricing, if I want to upgrade or update it, then I put everything through them. I don't have full ownership I have full ownership, but I can't get in there. So I don't know if I should go ahead and do KDP again, but it's already on there. Like, it's already through Amazon, but it's just a sample. So I'm really confused because I'm doing the modules, but I'm kind of in a different.
So do me a favor. If you're on, go ahead and mute yourself, just so we don't get feedback, and then I'll unmute you. Let me just make sure. So I don't want to mute my audio, but I want to make sure I can mute everybody else's. For some reason, I haven't been able to do that, so forgive me. Anyway, let me answer your question, but please mute yourself, and then I'll unmute you if there's any, if we're going to answer a question. I'm going to keep you unmuted, Jackie. So short version. One of the challenges with working with a self-publishing company like Author House is they're going to keep all of your content in their publishing account on Amazon KDP. So what that means is, you'll pay them a fee to publish it, meaning, you'll pay them a fee to format it, etc. That's how a lot of these self-publishing companies like Balboa and others work. The good side, of course, is that they'll handle that for you. The bad side is, typically speaking, they don't do it in your own account. They do it in theirs. And there's a reason that they do it that way. They do it that way because they can maintain control of the book. And that means that you have to go back to them and pay them more money whenever you want changes or updates or something else done. So my suggestion is either, number one, if you're going to do this yourself, my suggestion, number one, is to do it yourself and to make sure you do it in your own account. Because if you do it in your own account on Amazon, Number one, the royalties will come directly to you and into your bank account every single month, so you don't have to wait for royalties to shift from the publisher to you. And number two, you maintain complete control over it. You can make any pricing adjustments anytime you want. You can make any, if you want to put a new cover on it, if you want to change some verbiage, if you want to update it, anything you want to do, you can do it yourself. So, that's my number one suggestion. What I'll also say is this. If you're in Bestseller Publishing University, I know you are, Jackie, but for anybody else that's on this call and you're not a done-for-you client, we can help you kind of a la carte with any services that you need done. So if you want us to actually upload it to KDP or do the formatting or do your cover design or any of those things, then you're already a client of ours. We're happy to work out a good price agreeable to get whatever a la carte work that you want done. And we will always do it in your own account, so you never have to worry about who gets rights or who gets royalties or who gets control. It will always be your control. So, I hope that answers your question and makes sense. Now, now I know you're also asking a question about big picture, not just, the actual publishing and formatting and getting it on KDP. So why don't you ask, did I answer your question about the KDP? Is that helpful?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you now.
Quick question is, what do I do with the author house? Do I stop and get off of that, or what do I do with that? Or can you have two accounts going on?
Yeah, I mean, you can have two accounts, but you can't have the same book in both accounts. So, so you could have two accounts, meaning that your new books can be in your own account. If you don't want to hassle with, if you're not going to do very much with the old book, then you can leave it where it is and not worry about it, right? But if you want to make changes and do all of those things to the old book, then either A, you're going to have to work with Author House on all of those things and pay whatever fees they want, or B, you just ask, for them to unpublish the book and then you can republish it yourself.
Okay. And then quick question. I know they have a lot of people on the line. For a series, you think it's best to have the same type of cover for like a whole brand, the same, not different each time?
I do like that. I think the same type of cover, like a Chicken Soup for the Soul, it was branded.
Right.
People understood what it was. People could immediately recognize it. So I think that that's a good idea. Absolutely.
Okay. And then the other question, that last week, the question was if you had specific names of places like radio, or remember you wrote a note. So I was wondering if you were able to get a hold of that, or if someone had a name, instead of just like a random email.
Yeah. Do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind. Do you have something specific in mind that you're looking for, some type of specific media?
Yes.
Whatever, like a local channel or somebody specific?
Yes.
KTLA or Los Angeles or something?
Yeah, either like a NPR if it's going to be radio, or even the Ryan Seacrest that's in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a 7-minute thing, or obviously any like The View, The Talk, anything that's just a 7-minute blip that would say what the next book is. Because the main point is to get a platform to get other people's stories, so I can help everyone understand where everybody's standing on different issues.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Okay, I just made a note. I'll work on getting that stuff for you.
Thank you. You've been wonderful, and I appreciate
Thank you, Jackie.
it. So sorry for asking you so many questions. I appreciate it.
Jackie, I'm glad you asked the questions. I mean, because, other people have these questions too. And so, it's important, you're asking questions that others have. So happy to answer them for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
All right, go ahead and mute yourself if you wouldn't mind. And let's see what else we have. So Larry, hey, Larry, how are you? You are asking, I've completed my first book and I'm interested in what my priorities should be in marketing. The book is currently being offered by the publisher and also online at Amazon, Books A Million, and Barnes and Noble. Okay, so Larry, short version is, or maybe question, and let me go to you and let's unmute you. Okay, can you hear me, Larry?
I can. For some reason, I just lost the picture, but
lost my picture?
Yes.
Okay, well, I can see you fine.
Okay. All right.
Sorry that you can't see my handsome face, but that's okay. You're no worse for the wear without seeing it, so don't worry. So So let me ask you a question first.
Okay.
You mentioned your publisher. Did your publisher create your own account within Amazon, or is it in the publisher's account, your book?
They created the account. I maintained all the copyrights for the cover. I actually had the cover designed and so forth outside of the publisher.
Okay.
So as far as Amazon, now I'm going to have to say that was probably in their account then.
Okay. So similar to what I just said to Jackie, one of the challenges when it is in a publisher's account is, any changes that you want to make have to be worked directly with the publishing house if it's in their account, because they're not going to give you the username and password to their account if there's hundreds of books in there. So you're going to have to work directly with them. Now, have you been through the training module on the book launch itself, on your book launch?
I did several weeks ago,
Okay.
Probably about a month ago. So I need to go back and really do all that again.
Go back and do it, but let me give you a brief overview of the different steps and also where you're going to have to communicate with your publisher on this. So the first step in the process is what we call the soft launch. The soft launch is where right out of the gate, we want to get as many Amazon verified reviews, 4- and 5-star reviews of your book as possible. So one of the things that we do to do that is we list the price of the book at 99 cents, the digital price, for a very limited time. And we communicate with our audience, or I would suggest you communicate with your audience to let them know why the book is listed at this price, and ask them basically to download it and to offer you a review. So for example, during this soft launch phase, we'd want to get 10, 20, 30, as many Amazon verified reviews as possible, which do a couple things. Number one, it'll get you to hot new release if it's done within a short period of time. Number two, it'll get you top rated book on Amazon if your reviews are good. Obviously, that's a precursor. And Amazon's algorithm is really dependent. Their search algorithm is dependent upon 4- and 5-star reviews of their clients' books and products. So right out of the gate, what we do with our done-for-you clients is we basically say, look, here's a note that you can put out to your email list or to your social media or to your friends. Let them know that for the next 10 days, for example, from January 10th until January 20th, I've listed the digital price of my book at 99 cents. Keep the soft cover version priced high, like $24.95 or even higher than that. That way it maintains the integrity of the value of the book. But then let them know that the only reason you've priced it at this amount for the next 10 days is because you want them to download it, and you're asking kindly in exchange for them to offer a simple review of the book. Something you can also do, because reviews are difficult to come by, is you can give them some options for reviews. So one of the things, it's like a little trick, basically if you have a 300-page book, and let's say that your mom says she's going to read your book and review it. She looks at it and it's 300 pages and she's like, oh my gosh, who has time to read 300 pages? Sorry, honey, I can't review your book, right? I mean, even your mom won't review your book if it doesn't fit within the schedule. So what we suggest is you can tell someone, look, do me a favor. We want to get these reviews done as quickly as possible. So read a couple of chapters at least. Read a couple of chapters that are interesting to you, and then comment in your review about those chapters. That way you take the burden off of them to read the entire book, unless it's a small book, like Lou's book here is, gosh, I don't know, it's 125 pages or so, and so it could be read fairly easily. Does that make sense?
It does. And this book, it's only 106 pages.
Okay, beautiful.
So within 3 hours,
they could read that.
You can read it. So that's not a problem.
Yeah. So now you're going to have to work with your publisher on, the willingness that they would have of changing the price to 99 cents for a set period of time. Some publishers aren't willing to do that.
Well, I actually maintain the rights to set any price I want. So I set the price on the books.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you're going to want to do that, and you're going to want to do it for that set period of time. After you get 10, 20, 30 4- and 5-star reviews on your book, then you're going to move into the next phase, which is the KDP launch. And again, I'm just giving you the highlights of it. But, in the training, you're going to see all the different websites that we use to do paid advertising. You're going to see how we do our social media. You're going to see how to do the press releases and where we get the press releases done. And you're going to want to do that all in a very, during the KDP promo launch, which is a 5-day promo launch. So you'll do all of that. You'll schedule it. You'll pull the trigger on all of that, and your book will be hot.
Okay, because right now I've got the press releases are done. I'm already scheduled for 3 radio interviews and 1 television interview.
Great.
So
congrats.
We'll see what they do. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, you want them for different reasons. So if you have a mass market appeal, like your offer, and I know yours is on successful relationships, and so that does have kind of a mass appeal, then you may actually get clients from radio or television. For myself, I do podcasts oftentimes 3 or 4 times a month, because my offer, because most of what we do is the done for you program, and that's expensive, it doesn't really have the mass appeal. So it really is more focused to, say, a business owner or somebody that has the money and really wants to use their book as a platform builder. So believe it or not, the smaller media that's more targeted is better for attracting clients to me than big media like radio or TV. Now, with me saying that, I still do radio and TV regularly, but for a different purpose. I do that because for a long-term purpose, people always look at radio and TV and see it as a massive credibility boost to you. So anytime you're in competition with somebody else for a speaking engagement or for a new client, they're going to see, wow, Larry's been on TV, he's been on radio. I go on his website and he has his appearances on his website. And that is going to crush the competition when they see you're a best-selling author and you have all the other pieces in place. So, you want to do those things, but for bigger reasons than just selling books. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Good.
All right.
Hopefully that was helpful. Any other questions there? And obviously you got to dive into the modules.
Yeah, I do. I was not expecting it to be on all the on all the sites, the Books A Million and Barnes & Noble and everything, as quick as it was.
Yeah.
So I've gotten kind of caught off guard a little bit.
Yeah. That's a good problem. I mean, it's pushing you now.
Yes, it is.
Good.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Larry. Thanks for your question. Great question. Go ahead and mute yourself if you wouldn't mind, my friend.
All right.
And then I will reopen it up to anybody else that has a question. I see T. Paul. Hey, T. Paul, how are you, buddy? T. Paul says, trying to figure out with the ending of my book on marketing, how much should be personal and how much business? Should it be a balance of both? I don't know if I 100% understand it. And T. Paul says, sorry, Rob, I don't have a microphone set up in my new location. Okay, so looks like you're retyping. So the book starts out personal on how I came up with the idea of developing and growing your marketing in your personal as well as business life. Then it goes into business principles. And then I am thinking of ending it with making it personal for the reader. Okay, so some of these questions, unfortunately, should be answered even before, putting pen to ink, so to speak, right in the beginning. Because, what you really want to do right from the get-go is build out a foundation with exactly where your book is going. A platform, a structure where you say, okay, this is the steps I'm taking someone on, or this is the result that I want to get, a potential client, or what I want someone to get from reading the book. And so a little of what you're doing, it sounds like, is, making decisions as you go about what the next chapter should be or what the next content piece should be. So it's a little harder to answer for you. I'd say there's certainly nothing wrong with ending it and making it personal for the reader. We want the book all along the process to be about the reader and not about ourselves. We want to solve their problems. As Zig Ziglar says, we're all listening to the same radio station, WII-FM, what's in it for me? And so the whole book, in one sense, has to be personal for the reader. So let's see. Hopefully, I see you're saying, I'm a done-for-you client with me writing my own book. I of course, I know that. You're done for you in the sense that you're writing your own book, but we're launching your book for you and taking care of that piece of it. Anyway, I so appreciate the feedback, and it's well worth the investment. Thanks, buddy. So I think the bottom line is, it's hard to answer for me because I don't know like the specifics of what you want to end with. I think what you've described sounds completely fine, but just make sure you keep in mind that the book is always about, the end user. It's always about your client. It's always about the reader. Even if it has your stories and your examples and your case studies, it's still about them because it's about how you can help and solve their problems. So hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, and if I didn't answer it correctly, T. Paul, then do me a favor and just ask it in a different way, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. Beverly's asking, can you self-publish a book that is with another publisher like Balboa? So similar to what I was saying with Jackie and Larry, if you're working with Balboa and you paid Balboa, I know Balboa tends to be one of the more difficult ones when it comes to making adjustments with your book and that kind of thing. So you're going to have to find out what Balboa will allow you to do and what they won't allow you to do. As far as can you self-publish, well, Balboa is a self-publishing platform. So in essence, you did self-publish, but you just did it through Balboa. So Beverly, I'm not 100% sure. Are you looking to self-publish a second book? Or are you looking to put the same book that's with Balboa on another platform, etc.? And if that's the case, then you need to check with Balboa and see what they'll allow. I can tell you, we've had a number of clients that, not to badmouth Balboa, they're good people and everything, but we have had a number of clients that have had to remove their book from Balboa because Balboa would not work with them in a reasonable period of time when it comes to price changes and things of that nature. I've never published with them, obviously, so I can't speak from my experience. I can only speak from what other clients have told me about Balboa when it comes to making changes. And if you're going to launch your book with the way we describe it, you have to make a lot of changes. You need to price it at 99 cents for a period of time. Then you need to change that to full price. Then you need to do the KDP promo launch. Then you need to change it back to full price. And all of this happens in your Amazon account, which you don't have an Amazon account if you're working with Balboa. Balboa keeps it in their Amazon account. So that becomes a bit of a challenge. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you want to go deeper in that question, then by all means, I'm happy to do so on this call with you. Jackie's asking again, would love to help out / write reviews for people in this group. Awesome, Jackie. Thank you. How can we set this up? Maybe a section on the Facebook group where books need review. Love that. And yes, we actually do absolutely ask our authors to do that for one another and to do review exchanges. We actually have another group that is a public group that is called the $1 Million Author Group. And in that group, we regularly look for review exchanges. However, I'm not saying that we won't do that in our bestsellers group. We'll do that there with you as well. So my suggestion would be to do this. Make a post in that group that, hey, if anybody wants their book reviewed, then, please comment in this section. And I'm telling you, you'll make lots of friends really fast, that is leading with the giving hand. That's exactly what you want to do. That's exactly the way you want to engage in the group. So thank you for that. Larry, you and Larry may be able to do some cool, a cool review exchange, Beverly as well, and others. And so someone post that in the Facebook group right afterwards. Jackie, by all means, do that. And then let's start a comment thread where you can put your book title in there, your Amazon link, and let's start some great reviews. So love that. Thank you for that giving spirit. I love that. Let's see. Bishop Clifton, how are you, my friend? You're asking a question. I am re-editing my book, and my main reason for my book is for speaking engagements. One of your pods teaches sending out a book or other free gifts as well. Can you share more ideas on this, please? Absolutely. So on a regular basis, one of the things that we do for our clients and that we recommend our clients set up a system for is speaking engagements and attracting speaking engagements on a regular basis. So if you want to speak on a regular basis, then what you have to have is a system in place where you're attracting those opportunities on a regular basis. You can't do it haphazardly unless you want to speak haphazardly, right? I am not interested in traveling and speaking all over, personally. However, every now and then I get speaking engagement opportunities, and I'll decide if I want to take them or not. I have one coming up in Orange County that, is a 60-minute speech that I'm going to be giving that I got paid $5,000 for. I had one last month in Hawaii that I did not get paid for. I shared about that on this BSP University call. However, I've already signed up 3 clients that means about $40,000 into my business from that speaking engagement. So I traveled out to Hawaii, actually brought 2 of my kids. Not a bad place to go, but I did it for free because I knew I was speaking to my ideal client, a group of physicians. Anyway, I'm sharing all of that to say, for me, I don't care if I speak once a month or once a quarter or whatever. I'm only going to speak where I want to and when I want to. If you want to speak every single month, then you need a system in place to do that. So a great system is to take your book, your best-selling book, map out 100 of the absolute top conferences, associations, private organizations, churches, etc., that you would like to speak at. 100 minimum. You need the name of the organization, the address, you need the telephone number, you need the name of the person that is in charge of that conference or association, and understand that for conferences, they're booking 6 months out, right? So you've got to, be at top of mind at the right time. So you're going to make that list of 100. And then every single week, you're going to print some of your books, which you can do for cost at no more than $3 or $4. You're going to put a handwritten note attached to the book, as well as your speaker one sheet. And if you don't know what that is, then you can go to the membership area, BSP University, and we have some speaker one sheet examples and templates that you can use. But basically, it's a list of the different speeches that you give, as well as your credibility and your authority, where you've been featured, things like that. And every single week, you're going to send out 3 to 5 of your books. Here's what it'll cost you. It's about $3 to $4 to print your book. So let's say you send out 5, that's $20. It's going to cost you another $1 to ship it, maybe $1.50. So that's another $5. So $25 in cost. And then my recommendation is after your book arrives at, the conference, remember, you're just sending 5 a week, then you want to have an assistant or virtual assistant pick up the telephone, old school, right? Not send a text, but pick up the telephone and call the gatekeeper who probably got the book and ask them, hi, my name is Bishop Clifton, or hi, my name is Rob. I'm Bishop Clifton's assistant. We sent you a copy of his best-selling book last week. Just want to make sure that it arrived and it's okay. By the way, this script and template is all in the membership area as well, so you don't have to remember all this. Anyway, all they're going to do is make sure that the book got into the hands of the key person, and you're gonna have your assistant ask the gatekeeper if they would like to get on the telephone with you. Hey, Bishop Clifton's schedule for the fall speaking is booking up. Do you think your boss would be interested in getting on a 10-minute chat with him to see if there might be some synergies and might be some opportunities? That's all, 10-minute chat. And here's what's going to happen. Probably nothing for the first few weeks. But then after that, you're going to see systematically 1 or 2 appointments are going to be set for you every single week. And on those 1 or 2 phone calls, you're now going to be speaking to your ideal partner that has great speaking opportunities like conferences, associations, etc. They're going to see you as the expert because they have your best-selling book in their hand. They're going to see that you've been featured on TV or radio or whatever, and they're going to see you as a credible authority in your content. And so now it's just going to be a matter of working out the price and whether or not they like you when they engage with you on the telephone. And guess what? Some will and some won't. But if you do this systematically, eventually you will completely book yourself up. But you can't do this for 2 months and quit. Can't do it for 3 months and quit. If you want to speak on a regular basis and you want great speaking opportunities, you have to do this forever. I advertise every single day. That's how many of you came to me and were attracted to me. It's the lifeblood. Marketing is the lifeblood of our business, new clients that are coming in. And if you want to speak, then this is going to be the lifeblood of yours. So, Bishop, I hope that answers your question and is like super clear. But I know it's simple, it's inexpensive, but I'm telling you, don't be fooled by the simplicity of this. It works really, really well. It's very powerful. So hopefully that helps you, my friend. If you have a follow-up question, then happy to answer that. Larry, I see you have a follow-up question. So quick follow-up question. If the ebook versions are already being offered through distributors, can I still reduce the price of the ebook for a few days? Now, you can, because that will just be on Amazon. The only time you might not be able to is if you have some type of agreement with those distributors that don't allow you to do that. So more than likely, that's not the issue. And you still have control and rights to be able to do that. So that should not, be any impact. I wouldn't do it through every one of these. I would just do it through one source. I would focus everything on Amazon. So just reduce the price, Larry, within Amazon, and then send everybody back to that link just to keep it simple, because we want Amazon verified reviews, since Amazon is so much bigger than, it's 10 times the platform that the next 10 publishers are combined. And I'm talking Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. They're a drop in the bucket compared to the traffic that Amazon gets. So focus your attention on Amazon, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. So good. Great question. Bill, hey, how are you, my friend? Let's see. Bill has a question. Bill, this is Bill Stack. Having used BSP to help write and launch my book, The 7% Solution, I just wanted to say thanks again. Much of the advice others are having to do for themselves, BSP has done for those of us that have the privilege to work with you. Bill, thank you, man. You're awesome. Bill's book just got him an article in the U.S. News and World Report. How cool is that? Bill, I actually mentioned that today when I was at Provisors. I shared, that we get clients on everything from the Howard Stern show to U.S. News and World Report. So from one end of the Howard Stern show to the other end of U.S. News and World Report, there you go. You got a little shout out there. So congratulations again on that. Do you have any questions, Bill, about, and thank you for saying such a kind thing, but let me know if you have something specific that you want to ask about. Sounded like somebody started speaking, but I guess that wasn't you. So no problem. Let's move on. Jackie says, where, when are you speaking in OC, and is it open to the public? Jackie, it's not. It is a private corporation that I'm speaking for. Remember I said that associations, conferences, those are really great, but even private corporations. This is a mid-sized company. They do like, $50 million a year in revenue, which that sounds big to me, but that's still small business, I guess, for a lot. But the company is called Prudential. It's not the Prudential real estate company. And they wanted me to come in and speak on, on marketing and authority and those kinds of things. And it is private. It's just for their salespeople. So it's small. It's like 100 people, that I'll be speaking to. But, 60 minutes, I drive down there. I meet all the corporate executives, spend some time with them, and $5,000. And, probably we'll get some opportunities out of that to do some books. So even private organizations are great places to get speaking. Thanks for asking, though. Next time I do something public, I'll definitely, let everybody at BSP University and everybody know. Would love to have you there and give a big hug and high five and and meet everyone. So Alice has a question. Let's see. Where is the category section on Amazon to update categories for a book? So it's in KDP. It's in your Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, this is not something I do on an everyday basis because it's handled, our teams handle that stuff. So Sydney in my office and Steve in my office handle the category. So I'm going to do my best to answer that. But I do know it is in the KDP. I think the website is kdp.amazon.com, which gets you into your Kindle Direct Publishing account. And then if you click on your book, it asks you questions, your publishing questions. And one of those questions it asks you are, what are your two categories? So when you click on that particular question, you're able to change the categories, and it gives you, there are a few hundred categories. I don't know exactly how many, but there are at least a few hundred. So, it's in your KDP back office, and it is, within the publishing questions that you're asked when you are publishing your book. So there is more information in our modules. We actually we have a video on exactly what you need to do, in the publishing piece. So you can watch that video. I think it's pretty short. It might be just like 10 or 15 minutes long, maybe not even that long. So hopefully that's helpful. Beverly says, what is the difference between ebook and Kindle? There's really not a difference. When I talk about ebook or digital, I'm kind of using those, interchanging with Kindle. But just so I can be clear in the definition, you can have an ebook on your website, which is the digital version of your book. You can have an ebook or the digital version of your book on Books A Million or Barnes & Noble or iBooks or whatever. Kindle is specifically Amazon, okay? So Kindle is your digital book, but only on Amazon. So when I say Kindle, really it means Amazon only. But remember, if you've been through any of our trainings, our entire focus is on Amazon. We're not worried about all the smaller places, and because they're so significantly smaller. We focus on Amazon because Amazon is where you're going to get tracked as a bestseller. Amazon is going to promote you worldwide, and Amazon is the biggest publishing platform in the world by a factor of 10. So they're like Google compared to all these other little minute search engines. We just want to focus on the big one. And so that's why I talk a lot about Kindle. So Kindle is digital Amazon. That's what Kindle is. Ebook can be anything. It can be on your website, etc. That's digital outside of Amazon. Bishop Clifton again. Thank you. I'm grateful. I know that consistency pays off. It does, my friend. Absolutely. So stay consistent. What's the address to the group of other authors? I want their support and I'd like to support them. So if you're talking about our Facebook group, you should have been, right from day one, with your welcome email, given the Facebook group address. It is Bestseller Mastermind. I'm going to go right here on Facebook really quick, and I'm going to get you the exact link. So if you're on this and you're not in our private Facebook group, this is just for my clients. So this is not a big public group. This is just a group of 300 of us. It's just our past clients. So let me give you, that's not right. I'm going to get it and I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody. Bear with me one second. Bestsellers Mastermind. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to put it in chat for everybody. It's facebook.com/groups/bestsellers mastermind. So if you click on there and you're not a member, then what really will happen next is you'll have to request membership. And then when you request membership, one of us will approve your membership right away. So there it is. Oh, T-Paul already put it. No, it's not the Publish, Promote, Profit group, although that's another group, T-Paul. The private group is the Bestseller Mastermind. So it's facebook.com/groups/bestsellermastermind.com. I sent that out to everybody. Jackie, again, quick question. Anybody in this group in OC to help each other out can be like an accountability buddy. I think that's a great idea, Jackie. So I just said it to everybody. Is anybody in Orange County or in the Los Angeles area? And if you would like to do some type of accountability partnership, I think that's a cool thing to do. And certainly for anybody in Bestseller Publishing University, where you're doing this on your own with our coaching and our information, then that's a great way to connect. So if you want to type in the chat box, if you are in Orange County, then I'll work on connecting you two. Or you can just reach out directly to Jackie, and you guys can set that up. I think that's a fantastic idea. Skylar says, any audiobook launch advice? So Skylar, audiobooks are kind of new on our radar. It's not been something that we focused on. However, in the next quarter, our goal is to start that as a focus. My understanding is there's nothing to do to actually launch the audiobook itself other than to create it and, push the publish or launch button. There's nothing from a marketing standpoint, is my understanding. Now, I could be wrong, but again, that's new on our radar. So I'll know more in the next quarter because that's something that we have as a focus. So good question, though. Brenda, hey, Brenda, how are you? I see a question from Brenda. Brenda says, is there any merit, and if so, how much, to Barnes & Noble Nook ebook versus Kindle? Is the Kindle transferable to Nook, or does it matter? So you can, I don't know the answer, the direct answer of that, Nook versus Kindle. I know this. I have a Kindle, but I also have an iPad, and I read on my iPad. And so I use the Kindle app, and you can, I'm sure there's a Nook app as well. This much I can tell you, Barnes & Noble's platform and traffic compared to Amazon it's not even 1/100th the amount. So we don't spend much time or attention focusing on marketing with Barnes & Noble. Our focus is all on Amazon. And then from there, other opportunities will arise. So I can't tell you I know that much about Nook, but I can tell you that when it comes to Amazon and Kindle, that should be your focus and that should be your priority. And with the Kindle app, you can read it on your iPhone, you can read it on your Galaxy, you can read it on any iPad or any type of tablet that you have. And that's one of the powerful reasons I think that Amazon has such a wide spread. That is probably true with Nook as well. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be an app that they use, but I don't know for sure. Bishop Clifton is asking, is there anyone in BSPU willing to work as a group? So maybe similar to what Jackie is asking about, like an accountability group. I think that's a great question. And if you guys want to have something like that, I am 100% behind it and would be more than happy to make the connection. So Jackie, maybe you and Bishop Clifton can exchange some information. I would also suggest that you go to the Facebook group. You'll see in the Facebook group, everybody's like, you can friend them, you can message them right directly in the group or whatever. And so that's a great way to engage because we're only on these calls, of course, one time a week. Brendan says, I have both apps and was just wondering the difference. 1/100 is very good to know. Any dates yet for executive conference, Rob? No dates yet, Brenda, but working on that with my partner tomorrow. So as soon as I get the dates, I will. And you're right, 1/100th may have been generous. Amazon is like, in the top 5 biggest websites in the world. It is the #1 buyer search engine in the world. People go to Amazon to buy. People go to Amazon to buy books. So, it is the place. It is, to say it's the Google of books or products, it makes them seem small because even compared to Google, again, in the product and book niche, they're the 800-pound gorilla. They're the big ones. So Alice says, I'll be looking for everyone I think you're saying you're looking for everyone up on Facebook. Fantastic. Look everyone up, connect, friend each other. It's a great opportunity even to do joint ventures and help each other. And super, super recommend that. The power is in the group, not just in the content that you're getting. Like the questions that you're asking that I'm able to answer are questions that somebody else may have and may just not even know it at the moment. So there's always power in the group. I love it. Love your questions and want you guys to connect with each other, both on Facebook and, if you can, in some type of accountability thing. I think that would be fantastic. So really good questions. You guys got me going pretty good here. Brenda says private Facebook page is priceless. I check in every day. Totally agree, Brenda. I love it. There's so many good things happening on a regular basis with our clients' stuff. We don't post that like publicly very often. Every now and then I will. It's just stuff that, we talk about in the Facebook group. And even then we don't talk about it enough, to be quite honest. But it lends to inspiration. And it also means, hey, there's opportunity to make connections where maybe you can get the next in. Plus, many of our clients have parlayed their own book into now having their own radio shows and stuff. And they're all looking for, great guests. And, the group is a great place. Like Joe Houseman is fantastic. Joe has a lot of my, clients as guests on her shows. So it's a great forum. Paul says, it is a great forum. Thanks for doing this live. Hey, my pleasure. I love doing this. This is a lot of fun. I haven't done this in a long, long time. So I'm glad to be doing this every week. And I think we're like 6 or 8 weeks in. So, getting some great content together too. So we've been going not quite an hour, but about 52 or 3 minutes. So I don't see any other questions. So if you have another question and are holding it back, now is your time to get it answered. Otherwise, we're going to say adieu. And of course, this will be posted in the BSP University area. And we're probably also going to start posting the video on Facebook in our private Facebook group as well, so that people that aren't on can engage with it there. So I don't see anything else. Give you just a few more seconds. If you have a question, type it in now. Otherwise, then we will adjourn until next Tuesday at noon Pacific again. And, from this, please go to Facebook. Please engage with each other. Do some great review exchanges. Thank you again for mentioning that, Jackie, and volunteering that. I think that's super generous. I love that. And for looking for accountability and that kind of thing. So Mark says, thanks, Rob. Very helpful and encouraging. Hey, Mark, how are you? Mark is overseas, so I don't know what time it is for you, my friend, but I'm guessing it's pretty late. Alice says, thanks, and see you again next week. Alice, you are welcome. Thanks again for being on. And so everybody, I'll say goodbye. I don't see any other questions. So say hi in the Facebook group, and let's have some good engagement there. Thanks so much. Have a great, great week, and talk to you next Tuesday.